It's the day of the Internal Communications and Engagement Awards, and I'm joined by Andrew Pamphilon, who's Commercial Director at MGA, which is an internal comms and creative agency. They're shortlisted for several categories tonight, including Best Use of Storytelling and Best Use of Video and Animation. And Andrew's here to tell us a little bit about their entries and some background to their work. So, Andrew, could you tell us a bit about your work for Philips and some background to that campaign? I know that ethics and compliance was a big focus there. Give us some idea of your work there.
MGA, we've worked in the ethics and compliance arena for quite a while. We're an internal communications agency, as we said, but for us, people often see ethics and compliance as a very dry, regulatory kind of subject matter. And it's for us, and our clients, it's business critical. So people need to understand what they need to do within an organisation and their role in upholding ethics and compliance. So for us, it's always been a creative challenge, and we fundamentally believe bringing human-designed kind of training, but also getting people to sort of have a creative approach to that really helps to cut through and kind of bring it to the people. It makes it much more relatable. So I worked with Philips that they approached us to help them take their training to the next level. They had a business integrity function within the organisation, and they had training as existing and a code of conduct. But they asked us to help them take that to the next level and really kind of bring it through that so that people kind of understood what it was, engaged with it, and the kind of key outcome of it was they wanted to spark conversations.
So can you give us a little bit more of an idea of the creativity and the creative approach to this campaign? And how did you decide how to creatively approach it? What insights sort of drove your strategy there?
We started by talking to the client and really understanding what they needed to do and what format they already had their training set up within. But we basically wanted to create something that told people a story about what it was, but make it more relatable to them about what they did in their day-to-day organisation. It took a lot of trust from the client to kind of follow through what we did, but we basically came up with a format of creating binge-worthy drama series, which basically reflected a company and the people within the business and what they did day to day. So we basically created a full series of 3 episodes of about 10 minutes long, which created a scenario within the organisation, but we then basically wanted to bring that through with real actors. And so we helped create, story, write, script, cast a full production piece, which was filmed within their offices as well. So it was within an environment that people could see and understand. But it was basically brought through kind of true stories, key kind of outfits, but things that people experience day to day. So again, ethics compliance could be seen, as I say, kind of as that kind of big piece about a code of conduct, which day to day people feel normally is kind of a legal challenge. It's nothing to do with what I do as a role, but it's about making them understand that they all have a role to play in that. Fundamentally, the code of conduct is there to uphold values of an organisation and how people should live them. And so we wanted to get people to understand that, but demonstrating through scenarios that sort of, people shouting within a workspace, people acting kind of wrong and doing what they shouldn't be doing, but then showing how hard that can be to speak up. But it gives them the understanding of what they have to do, but also directing them to the different channels to make to raise a code breach, or even to step in and talk to someone before something gets too big and escalates as well. So we basically created a full drama. It was a full production piece. It was filmed over a week. But then once the kind of 3 episodes are delivered to the organisation, they also have an unpack after each one as well, which basically helps people to understand the nuances that we're showing them within the piece and within the film, things that they might not miss, things that they could miss, but also to help them think about what's going to happen. All of this is kind of dramatically pulled together. There's always a nice big cliffhanger at the end of every episode. And it really helped people want to get involved, to watch it more. And that was evidenced by the results that we saw from it.
Okay, and how has this campaign been received? Has everyone ended up binge watching it? And what's the feedback or impact have you already seen realised?
Yeah, so the results have been really good. They've gone above and beyond what the client set as objectives for the training in the first place. Example, they had 37,000 people watch the training, which was about 340% above their target of what they kind of set out. But people really kind of got involved with it. They kind of, it was run within sessions, and then they had conversations about it within their teams about what they had just seen to understand better about how they can work together. I think one of the real fundamental outtakings was something from the survey results they did internally, and that was that 86% of people actually reflected more on the decisions they were making, and that for us is a real kind of key behavioural change which we're trying to get through from that. So making people understand what they do can affect other people, it can affect the business as well, and so it's making sure that people connect the two items, but it delivers that whole kind of the ethics and compliance piece in a much more, as I say, relatable way.
Amazing. Thank you so much for giving us some insight into MGA's work, and good luck tonight at the awards.
Thank you very much.